Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you all how I'm going to make Gori for tomorrow's Gori and beans curry. Today I'm going to wash my Gori and prepare it and put it to boil for tomorrow's Gori and beans curry. Here I have a pre-packed of half a dozen Gori, which is already washed and cleaned, but I'm going to give it a final finish to the washing and cleaning. Now I'm going to show you how I usually wash my Gori. I'm adding in some boiled water to it. Here I have a handful of salt with a handful of minimal, and thereafter I have an onion bag that I rinse out thoroughly, and I'm going to use these items for the washing of the Gori. So this is the Gori with my onion sack. I dip in for the salt and the minimal, and I rub in the Gori to get the final touch done to it. Sometimes you get this little fine hairs, which is not healthy at all. And this is where the extra hair normally stays, but for now I see it's cleaned and cut out. There was a time when we always used to make munda Gori and boti. It was my mother-in-law's favorite, although Pranesh's dad and Pranesh them never get into the habit of eating Gori and munda. My late uncle used to take the first bus on a Wednesday and go to Pinetown, and on a Wednesday they used to have a package deal where you buy 4 Goris with a boti and 1 munda. So we used to get a pack of 2 sets, and in the meantime, while my uncle is coming back home with the Gori and the munda, we already have our chula getting ready. For our chula, we used to make out of the 25-liter drum, and we used to put in our irons to get red hot with the coal.
So the chula was where you burn the fire inside?
Yeah, that was how we used to do it. And thereafter, when my uncle arrived, we are ready to start preparing our Gori and munda and the boti, because it was an all-day affair. First, we used to put in our Gori and munda to burn off all the hair out, and sometimes maybe take a scissors and cut the very long hair and then put it in to burn. And then to finish it off, we used to pull our irons, which used to be red hot, and just place it upon the Gori skin, and sometimes it used to flame. And those was our very exciting days, although there was much of a work. But now with having these Goris already prepared for you, it brings back a lot of memories of a funful day where we used to, it was a hard work, but we used to enjoy what we did. Here's my Gori, already washed and cleaned, and I make sure there was no hair. So whoever cleaned these Goris, they did a very good job on it. They are sort of an expert. but it's always good to check, because sometimes you find the remaining is like the very fine one staying behind. And here I have my pot on with the water, and I'm ready to put in my gori for the boiling. But you can always do this with a pressure cooker. If you want it done in a quicker time, you can use your pressure cooker, but for me, I have all the time. Out of this half a dozen gori, I've cut 1.5 dozen pieces. To the water, I'm adding in some hurdee, 2 bay leaf, and 2 pieces of cinnamon stick. And then to tenderize the gori while boiling, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of vinegar. I will allow this gori to boil out nice and soft, and I won't throw the water away. When it cools completely, I'll put it into my fridge, and I will catch you tomorrow cooking the curry. Hello, welcome back. As I showed you all yesterday, I was preparing my gori and beans for today's curry. And these are all my ingredients that I have lined up for cooking of the gori and beans. Firstly, I showed you all how I'm putting my gori to boil yesterday. And after keeping it overnight in the fridge, this is the jelly form that comes into the liquid. And while boiling the gori, I was very careful. As each one got soft, I removed it from boiling, and all in all it took about 2 hours to boil. And this jelly finish is not to be thrown, it's to be used in the braising of the curry, because it gives us a nice thick gravy and it has its own fats in it.
Yeah, I think the jelly or the gelatinous liquid from boiling the gori is what makes the gori and beans curry unique in terms of the consistency of the gravy that comes through.
Thereafter, I have 2 cups of broad beans boiled. Usually they say gori goes with sugar beans, but we're going to try different types of beans to gori. We'll bring out different types of flavor. So this is my broad beans boiled out. And then the rest of the ingredients, I'll start off with my oil. I'm going to use a very little oil. It's a 1/4 cup of oil with 1 medium onion sliced, 2 medium size of tomato. Then for my braising, I have my biryani mix, which has cinnamon stick, bay leaf, black elaichi, 2 green elaichi, and just a teaspoon of somph and 6 cloves, because clove is a must. I also have a teaspoon of ginger garlic. And for my masala, as you all know, I usually mix up my masala, but to bring out more flavors, I use a little extra different types of masalas. So I have 2 tablespoons of heaped mixed masala, 1 teaspoon of garam masala. I have 1 teaspoon of dhania powder, 1 teaspoon of jeera powder, and I have a teaspoon of hurdee. And thereafter I have a teaspoon of salt to taste, but you can add your salt per your taste. I have lovely fresh thyme to braise and some curry leaf, and then to garnish I have some fresh dhania. I have my stove on moderate heat and I'm adding in my 1/4 cup of oil to it, and I allow this to get heated up. I'm going to add in my onions first and allow it to fry till it's gone to a golden brown. Now I'm going to add in my biryani mixed spices. Allow this to cook out. We added a lot of aromatic to the braise for making our curry to smell nice. Now I'm going to add in my curry leaf and my thyme. When I usually add my thyme, it pops because of the water. Now I'm adding in my ginger garlic. To my braise, I'm going to add in all my masalas. Give it a few more seconds to cook out the masala. As you can see, my masalas are dried up and you may think the oil is very less, but after I put in this jelly gravy, it will come much more oilier. So now gradually I'm going to add in my gori to fry out. Without the gravy, just picking each gori. I will leave this gravy for the later state of the curry. In the meantime, I'll allow this gori to fry out. I will give it about 10 minutes till it comes to a fry. I'm going to add in my first teaspoon of salt, and later when I add in my beans, I'm going to adjust the salt to the curry. 10 minutes has passed us, and to this point I'm going to add in my tomatoes and allow the tomatoes to cook. Now I'm going to add in my tomatoes and allow the tomatoes to cook for another 10 minutes. As you can see, tomatoes are cooked out. Now I'm gonna add in my beans to it. Give it a good stir. And also allow this to boil for a 10 to 15 minutes and get back to it. Here we go. It's quite thick and catching to the pot. So before that happens, I'm gonna add in my gravy, but if you have extra, you have to adjust how much of gravy you need to your curry. I don't have that much, so I'm pouring in all. And I'll give it another 15 minutes and check on it. Now I tasted my salt and it's a little less, so I'm using now a level teaspoon of fine salt. But as the cooking go by, I will taste it again till the salt come to perfection. Now it's been about 15 minutes and my gori and beans is done. I'm just going to add in my garnish and then I'm ready to serve. Here you go, a lovely meal for today. Gori with broad beans, and on the side we have lovely freshly made rotis. This is going to be one delicious meal, but unfortunately nobody eats gori and beans at home. So we are waiting up for our visitors to turn up and they will partake in our meal. You can also serve this with some salad or pickle, or even you can serve it with lovely rice. And thank you all for watching and enjoy.